I remember the first time I ever got high. I was 14 years old. I was with my brother and his friend, and we hotboxed my brother's car. And, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think, like, oh, big deal. I don't know what this is all about. I bet this is nothing. And I remember that feeling of being high come over me. And I remember hysterically laughing in the back of the car and just blithering nonsense and having a good time. It was fun. It was a very unique experience, and it was a very, euphoric experience, It was nice. I very much enjoyed it. And then for some years, I smoked on and off. If somebody had it, I would get high with them, and if not, whatever, not a big deal. It wasn't until I turned 19 years old that I started making it a habit, and I wanted to do it every day, all day, and that's what I did. And what I can say from age 19 until about 40 years old, I smoked weed quite regularly. There was definitely some windows of where I had quit, but for the most part, just, totally in my addiction. And looking back at it, and I was thinking about this for like the past week, was how with addiction, we're always chasing euphoria. And that's what I think a part of addiction is just we're always chasing euphoria. We want that feeling of euphoria again. Like that first time we got high, we were chasing that. And the problem is with addiction and chasing euphoria is that's not how our minds and our bodies were meant to function. Regular life, isn't constant euphoria. You can take shrooms, you can take ecstasy, you can take MDMA, and you can keep doing these things regularly in order to maintain that euphoric state. But the problem is you're depleting your dopamine, right? You're flushing your dopamine every time you do it. And the more and more you do it, the more you need to engage all that dopamine, blah, 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 all that chemistry happening in your body and in your mind. And then you just hit a point where you're just like, I'm not getting anything out of this anymore. I'm just maintaining baseline, Ask any addict to any hard drug and they'll tell you they got to a point where they're just maintaining baseline. And which shows you that euphoria, that chasing of euphoria it's a part of life, but it's not meant to be all of life. Because when we're in our addictions, we could convince ourselves that, oh, I felt this euphoric feeling by taking this substance. I must have depression because I feel really good on this substance. This makes me feel more like myself. This makes me feel more like happy and energetic and blah, whatever the case may be. But the problem is it's a lie. You're not supposed to be in a euphoric state all the time. That is not the natural state of human beings. And we live in a society that says no negativity, no negative vibes, all positive vibes, happy, happy, happy. Think positive, and positive things will always happen to you. Nothing ever bad should ever happen to you. And that's a lie. That's a dirty lie that many people believe, unfortunately. So it's part of our cultural makeup, at least in modern times, to think that we're supposed to be happy all the time. And regular life, that's not the case. It just really isn't the case. Everyone has good days and bad days. It's just, up and down, and just flowing with it. It's not about being euphoric and about being happy all the time. It's about how we react to the stimuli around us. It's how we act and how we adapt and cope with our current environment, wherever we are, whatever we're going through. And the problem with addiction is the more we are into our addiction, the less we are able to naturally cope with the various stimuli that happens in our life. And that's why I decided I wanted to become sober, is I wanted to regulate, let my body get back to a point of naturally regulating my dopamine so that I can function the way I'm supposed to function and cope with stimuli in my life without a substance, without the crutch of a substance. So so this whole chasing euphoria thing, that's how I see it, what addiction is. We're just trying to create happy world land all the time, which is impossible, and it's not supposed to be like that. We're very uniquely created animals, if you will. God made us the way we are so that we function in a certain way. And in that certain way is not really to be addicted to substances. It's to cope with the various degrees of good and bad things in our life. That's really it. And when we're chasing euphoria, when we're in our addictions, that's all we can think about is that next hit, that next high, so that we can feel, somewhat good again. And again, as I said, people who are along in their addiction, they start doing that substance, more and more of that substance, just to hit baseline. That just proves to you, we're not supposed to be like the lie of chasing euphoria. Euphoria is, listen, there are times when maybe you're on vacation, you're at the beach, and you see like a wonderful sunset, and you for some moment it makes you feel euphoric, but you don't stay in that. You move on and you go through life. And we're not supposed to be happy all the time. I know that sounds so counterintuitive in our modern culture. And if you get anything out of this video, that's a lie, that you're supposed to be feeling good all the time. The thing is, when you're getting out of addiction and regulating your mindset, your body chemistry, your brain chemistry, you come to accept, like, okay, life isn't all about like being happy all the time, but when something bad happens in your life, you're more ready to cope with it. You're not paralyzed, right? You're not paralyzed by what happened because you're not addicted to something, and you're not like running to that substance whenever anything bad happens. You're like, okay, I'm taking this as it comes and I'm dealing with it. And it's just part of life. It's what makes you stronger, actually, right? So then, when future, instances happen to you, future negative events happen, you're not wallowing in depression and sitting in a corner and not knowing what to do. Like, you're like, okay, well, this sucks, but I got to do something about this, and I'm just going to go do what I got to do, right? So that's it. It's this whole like belief that you have to be happy all the time and always just la. That's a lie. That's not life. That's not real. And I'm all about talking about what's real. So that's it, man. Stop chasing euphoria. It's a lie. It's just a small part of life amongst many other aspects of life that we have to be ready to go through at any time. And when you're sober and you're regulated, you really won't have problems going through the various stages of life. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later. God bless.